Hello friends, wishing you a happy new year to everyone. I hope that this year, whatever you have desired and whatever your goals are, it should be fulfilled by the end of this year. So, moving to the today's series, which is the recap series. As you all know that Drishti IS has come up with the new series which is called as Recap 2023. And this series dealt with that what had happened in 2023. So we are taking out the important events, summits, acts, judgments, and we are discussing that thing in a very brief way. And this thing is very important for your prelims examination, and for the mains also you should have an insight about that which summits, which acts and judgments are important for your examination, and for prelims also you'll have a better awareness about such things. So today's session is about important summits. So moving to the first summit. First of all, Voice of the Global South Summit. So as you already know that India is becoming the voices of the Global South, and because of that India is taking so much lead for various summits. So when this summit take place, so the summit take place in November 17, 2023, and the summit name is Voice of the Global South Summit 2023. And who has organized this summit? As India is leading this thing, so it was organized by Government of India. And what is the aim of the summit? So the aim of the summit is to provide platform for the countries of the Global South to share their perspective and priorities, and its theme is Together for Everyone's Growth with Everyone Trust. So this particular summit has been based for the Global South countries whose voices are not heard and who has not much power in the decision making process. So this is the summit about. Moving to the next summit is about 12th World Hindi Conference. So India is a multilingual country, but among all the languages, Hindi has a different kind of their role and it has a different kind of its significance. And now Hindi is gaining the world prominence. So because of that, we have this 12th World Hindi Conference, and where it has been organized. So it has been organized in PG this time 2023. And what is the theme of this time? So the theme is Hindi Traditional Knowledge to Artificial Intelligence. It means that Hindi should be promoted to the technological era also, because most of the time we have seen that whenever we have to do and work with any technology, we are most accustomed with the Western languages or English language. But Hindi is a very widely spoken and widely read also, and it consists various good linguistic history also. And because of the rich language history and diversity and so many speakers, it needs to be technologically developed, because today is the demand of technology. And if any language is available on technology and it should be used by also the technology, then it will be beneficial for the local people also, that they can converse and they can use anything in the technology. That's why this thing has been based, and it provided valuable platform for the linguist and enthusiast of Hindi language to exchange ideas. So basically what happens, there are so many seminars and conferences related to the Hindi. So it has provided various academician, linguistics and other people to promote Hindi language in a different way. So this is the 12th Hindi conference. Moving to the 5th ASEAN India Business Summit. So for your information, you should know that India is not a part of ASEAN. It is a partner of ASEAN. So there is a difference between partner and part. So it is not an official member of the ASEAN. And where it has been held? So it has been held in Kuala Lumpur, and ASEAN is a member of 10-member bloc. And what is the aim of this India ASEAN Summit? So it is strengthening and moving forward ASEAN India economic relation for strategic business partnership, and it is mostly for to have development with the Southeast Asia region and to transform each other knowledge between India and ASEAN region, in which India will also take benefits and ASEAN countries will also take benefits from the Indian resources. So this is the 5th ASEAN India Business Summit. So you must care about that where it has been held, and you should have a vague idea about that when it has been held, because in prelims examination and in the state examination we have seen that sometimes they give that you have to arrange things in a chronological order. So you must know the dates also, and then you should know the theme, that what is the theme this year it was. So the theme is this. Moving to the next one, which is G7 Hiroshima Summit. So here I have not told you that who are the G7 countries. So this thing you have to tell in the comment section. So this is a homework for you. And when it was held, so it was held in May 1921. And who has hosted this time? So it was hosted by Japan, and that's why the city is Hiroshima. And what's its main aim? So its main aim is that what is happening in Russia and Ukraine. So they had mostly focused on the Russia's war with the Ukraine, and they had also discussed the diplomatic relation between G7 countries, and also that how to deal with the Russia-Ukraine problem, what should be the humanitarian approach, what should be the diplomatic approach by different countries. So this summit was mostly best for that. And they had also given focus on the China, that how human rights in China are violated and economic security issues with the China. So they had widely discussed on such issues. Moving to the next one. Next one is about International Conference on Green Hydrogen. So India has also their National Green Hydrogen Mission, and it is a part of that International Conference on Green Hydrogen. And it was organized by Government of India in New Delhi, and between July 5th to 7, 2023. And what its main aim? So its main aim is to bring together the global scientific and industrial community who talks about the decarbonization, who talks about the green hydrogen. So this is the main its aim. And they are also focused on the green hydrogen, such as the production through electrolysis, biopathways, storage, distribution, refueling. So other things they had discussed on this International Conference on the Green Hydrogen. Moving to the next one, which is SCO Summit. So who has chaired the SCO Summit this time? So India has for the first time chaired the SCO Summit. And after the COVID-19 pandemic, it was first meeting which was held in person, where leaders had met personally to each other. And so when it was held, so it was held between July 4 on 2023. And who are the SCO members? So I have not told the who are the G7 members, that you have to do homework, but here I am telling you that who are the SCO members. So they are the China, Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. So here we can see that many Central Asian countries are also part of this. And what is the new development to the SCO Summit this time? So Iran has officially joined this time as a 9th member of SCO Summit, and there they had also adopted New Delhi Declaration, because it was held in New Delhi, and where they have focused on counter-terrorism, extremism and separatism. So these are the focus area for the SCO Summit. Moving to the next slide, which is North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is in short NATO Summit. And right now you should know that whatever happening in Russia and Ukraine, NATO is also one of the reasons, because Russia was suspicious that Ukraine would join NATO, and because of that there's so much war between Russia and Ukraine. So there may be multiple reasons, but it is also one of the reason. And where it was held, so it was held in Vilnius, Lithuania, and between July 11 and 12. And what is the aim of this NATO summit this time? So they had discussed about the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine, and how the security measures are compromised every day because of such kind of the war. So they had also discussed, and how any country should support diplomatically Ukraine, and when Ukraine will join the NATO. And they had also focused on that how countries should expand their force and security measures, because these are the important need of the hour. So these are the important areas where they had discussed about the NATO summit. Moving to the next one is about the BRICS summit. So this time the 15th edition of BRICS summit held, and where it has been held, so it has been held in Johannesburg, South Africa. In the comment section you have to answer that 14th BRICS summit where it was held, and who was the chair of this time. So the South Africa was the chair of this time, and between August 2022 to 24 it was held in person. So you must know that sometimes they ask that it was in a virtual mode or in person. So this was in person. And as the name suggests, the countries' name are Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. And there they had also talked about that maybe they will expand their membership, and they had invited full-time members, just like countries like Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates. So they are also trying to expand their membership, and they are also inviting other countries to be observer or to be full-time member of part of the SCO. Moving BRICS. Moving to the next one, which is G20 summit. So G20 summit, we had largely discussed about the G20 summit in two lectures. In the comment section, I will give you the link also, and in the description there will be the links of the G20 summit. And I think we had a lot discussed about the G20 summit because it was held in India, and it was just like festival for India because every person was involved in the G20 summit, and it was assured that we could conduct it successfully, and it has conducted successfully. So when it was held, so you already know that it was held in New Delhi, India by September 9 and 10. And who are the notable attendees this time? So we have Joe Biden, we have German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, we have French President Emmanuel Macron, we have British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. So these are the important ones who had attended G20 summit. And what is the theme we have? So as India is a believer of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, so it was the theme that Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, one earth, one family and one future. And there are many highlights of the G20 summit, but here we have taken only few highlights. That it had focused on the triple global renewable energy capacity. So in every summit we have seen that they have mostly focused on the climate change and terrorism, extremism, communalism, because these are the rising concern of the whole world order. So these are that they had focused on the triple global renewable energy capacity. And what is another development, that African Union has become the member or permanent member of the G20 summit. And they had also focused on the Global Biofuel Alliance, which was launched with the India as a key player. So, and here India has also emerged as the voices of the Global South, where they had talked about the development of the least developed countries and third world countries. And India has emphasized that they should also have the authority in the decision making process, and we should help all these countries to uplift their development. So this is the highlight of G20 summit. Moving to the next one, which is 43rd ASEAN summit. So it was held in Jakarta from September 5th to 7th in 2023, and it has mostly focused on the Southeast Asian development and also the Indo-Pacific region. So their main focus was the Indo-Pacific region. And what was the theme of this summit? So theme of summit was ASEAN Matters, Epicentrum of Growth. So you should not confuse this between India ASEAN summit and ASEAN summit. So this is the ASEAN summit, where India was not a part, but in India ASEAN summit, India was a part because it was personally held with the India and ASEAN members. So it is overall ASEAN summit, and it has mostly focused on the Indo-Pacific region and also the development of the Southeast Asian region. And they had the key core areas where they had talked: ASEAN Concord 4 adoption. These are the outcomes of the summit: economic growth and sustainability, regional integration and digital economy, ASEAN outlook on the Indo-Pacific region. So these are the highlights of the 43rd ASEAN summit. Moving to the next one, which is Dakar Declaration on Climate Change. So Dakar Declaration on Climate Change issued by the ministries from the world's 46 developed countries. So here you should not confuse, because voices of Global South related to the least developed countries and those countries who are developing in nature and needs help from other countries to uplift their development. So Dakar Declaration is a group of 46 developed countries where they had discussed about the outlines and expectations of COP28. So we'll discuss also that what are the highlights of the COP28, but this is about the Dakar Declaration. So there they had discussed about the urgent global emission reductions, because this is the need of an hour, and they had discussed about the threshold of Paris climate change, which is 1.5 degrees Celsius of the global warming. They had also discussed about the increased climate finance, and it is also a part of the COP20 summit, where we have discussed about the climate financing and how it can be financed. So it can be financed through the grant based financing. And they had also discussed about the new collective quantified goal on climate finance, and they had decided that it should be exceed to the current $100 billion per year. And we had already discussed so much about the loss and damage fund. So this is also the highlight of this Dakar Declaration on Climate Change. Moving to the next one, which is COP28. So when COP28 held, so it was held between November 30 to December 12, and it is the 28th edition. That's why its name is COP28, Conference of Parties 28, and it was held in Dubai, UAE. So you should know the place also. And it is a multilateral decision making forum where countries from all over the world unites and they discuss about the climate changes, global warming, climate financing. So there they had talked about the beginning of the end of the fossil fuel. It means that they are completely trying to wipe out that those countries and those sections who are using the fossil fuel, the old method of the fossil fuels, which are very harmful for the environment and also for the human also. So it should be the beginning of the end of all such fossil fuels. And they had also discussed about the climate financing, loss and damage funding, and India had also emerged here as a leader of the global south, where India had talked about that, you know, developed countries emit a lot different kind of the pollution, and for that the burden had been shared by the developing countries also. So we need to be careful that developing countries should not pay for the developed countries, because they are emitting large amount of pollution, and for their pollution why the developing countries and least developed countries would pay. And India had also asked developed countries that you should collaborate with the least developed countries and you should utilize their resources and you should make them efficient. So India had also asked that we need to help the global south countries for their upliftment in the climate change and to meet their climate goals. And India has also declared their own climate goals. So this is about the COP28. Moving to the next one, 14th International Conference on National Human Rights Institution, because there is ongoing war between Israel and Palestine, Russia and Ukraine. Indirect wars are going between various countries. So we need to also take care of the human rights, because in all those wars, human rights are compromised every day. Sometimes few states and few countries are behave like a dictator. In that also we can see that the press policy of China's are very strict. Few countries does not have the people to freedom of speech and expression. So all these things are the infringement of the human rights. So we need to also focus on the human rights development and for all over the world. And where it has been held, so it has been held in Copenhagen, Denmark, between November 6 to 8. And who was the partnering authority into this? So it was co-hosted by Global Alliance of National Human Rights Institution, Danish Institute of Human Rights, Ukrainian Parliament Commissioner for Human Rights, and Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights. So UN is also part of here. And there they had discussed about the Russia, Ukraine, also the torture, extremism, whatever happened to the different kind of people, rapes, child labor, and human trafficking, which has been rising day by day. So they had discussed about all such things. And they had adopted a declaration. The declaration name is Q Copenhagen Declaration. So this is the highlight of 14th International Conference of National Human Rights Institution. And this next class is about important acts, and this class would be taken by Lalit ji. So kindly watch this thing on the 3rd. And that's it for today's session. I hope you like this session. If you have any query related to this session, kindly ask in the comment section. And do revise again and again so that you can use this information in your prelims examination as well as mains examination. Thank you and all the best for your exam.